Hi, on page 9b and 10, our goal is that we can write equations from word problems. So I want you to start first by solving a word problem, and then I'm going to show you how you can make it into an equation. So it says for babysitting, Nicole charges a flat fee of $3 plus $5 per hour. How much money will she make if she babysits for 5 hours? Well, since she makes $5 per hour, you're going to take 5 times 5 and get 25. And then she has this flat fee of $3. So you're going to add that to it and you'll get $28. So what operation did you do with the $5 per hour? Well, since she worked for 5 hours and made $5 per hour, you had to multiply those. And then at the end, regardless of how long she works, she's going to get this $3. So you add that to your total and you get $28. So to write an equation, what we did is we took 5 times the number of hours, and she made $5 per hour, and then we added 3. So now, give you some math vocab words here. Linear equation is an equation that makes a straight line. And you'll know it makes a straight line because it's going to have a constant rate of change. And so if you look at this one is always going to change $5 per hour. So this is going to be a linear equation. The easiest formula to put linear equations in is the slope-intercept form, and that is y equals mx plus b. You'll notice you have your m and you have your b, and those are going to change based on what problem you're doing. The m, it says it over here, but I must have cut it off. The m is the slope, and so the definition of slope is that you take the change in y over the change in x. What that normally looks like in a word problem is you're going to see the word per or you're going to see the word each. Sometimes they keep it out, but you can tell where it's supposed to be. So thinking about this change in y and change in x, going back up to this problem, she makes $5 per hour. So it changes $5 for every 1 hour. So that's why this is the slope. $5 per hour, change in y over change in x. And then our y-intercept, or the b in the equation, the number that's by itself, is the beginning point. It's going to be where x equals 0. And if you're graphing it, it's where it crosses the y-axis. So again, if you look at this flat fee, it sounds like to me, if you reserve Nicole as a babysitter, she's going to charge you $3, even if you walk out of your house and walk right back in. She always gets this flat fee. So to begin with, she gets $3. And so that's the number that's by itself, the b. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the next one. It says circle the word each or per and then underline the starting value. Suppose that the water level of the river is 34 feet and that it's receding at the rate of 0.5 foot per day. Write an equation for the water level y after x days. So circle the word each or per. So here's the word per. Since this is the word per, you know that this 0.5 is going to be the m. It's going to be your slope because you see the word per. This is the one that you're going to multiply per day. Now, since it does say receding, that does mean it's going down. So you're going to notice that when I put this in the equation, it's negative because it's going to go down a half a foot per day. And where was it to begin with? 34 feet. And so that's my B. Let's see if I can, get out of here for a second. I want to show you the bottom of this. Okay, so looking at the bottom, well, maybe I want to look at the bottom. Okay, apparently we're not going to be able to see that until, sorry about that, technical difficulties. If you look down here at the bottom, Rufus collected a plumber charges $25 per service call plus $50 per hour. Write the equation in slope-intercept form. Well, it charges $50 per hour, so the change in dollars per hour is 50. So that's your slope. That's the one that goes with the x. And it sounds like if he walks into your house, it's going to cost at least $25, even if he turns right out or turns around and walks right out. So at the beginning, it costs $25. So when you put it together, y equals 50x plus 25. Rufus collected 100 pounds of aluminum cans to recycle. He plans to collect an additional 25 pounds each week. Write an equation in slope-intercept form. Well, he already has 100 pounds, so that's his beginning point, the number that will be by itself, and then 25 pounds each week. If he's collecting it, it'll be positive, so it's y equals 25x plus 100. Looking over to page 10, see if I can get it to get bigger this time here. One more. A canoe rental service charges $20 transportation fee and $30 per hour to rent a canoe. Write an equation in slope-intercept form. Now you'll notice this one doesn't say per hour. I said that because if it's $30 an hour, that's what I mean. You can assume which one should have the per or the each because you're still going to see the change in dollars per the change in time. Okay, so you'll still see which one happens per hour or each hour, even if it doesn't say the words per or each. And then a $20 transportation fee is what that says underneath that. So 30x plus 20. Now, let's solve a couple of these. You're going to notice these are the same equations that we just talked about. So y equals a negative 0.5x plus 34. The water was receding a half a foot a day, so that's why we made it negative. It says, what would the water level be in 10 days? Well, in 10 days, that's going to be your x. And so you're going to take negative 0.5 times 10. So that's going to give you negative 5 plus 34. And when you take a negative 5 plus 34, the water level would be at 29 feet. Looking down here, the plumber charges $25 for service call and $50 per hour. And so what would happen if it was 3-hour service call? Well, since it's $50 per hour, you're going to plug in the 3 for your hours. 50 times 3 is 150 plus 25, and that would cost $175. Rufus and his aluminum cans, we know that that equation's 25x plus 100. How many pounds would he have after, I must have cut it off, but it must be 6 because that's what I have here. So after 6 weeks. So again, since it's 25 pounds per week and we want to know about 6 weeks, we're going to plug that in for x. 25 times 6 is 150. 150 plus 100 is 250. At the end of this, let's see here. At the end of this, you're going to see the words that I need you to update in your toolkit. And it does want for you to give examples of them. I'm having some hard times on the bottoms of these pages. So if it's a linear equation, remember it's going to have a constant rate of change. So you're going to be able to find the slope. It's going to make a straight line when you graph it. So y equals 2x plus 1 is a good example of a linear equation. Feel free to use my definition that was on page 9b to put that in your toolkit. And then we have the y-intercept. That's going to be, when you graph it, it's going to be where it crosses the y-axis, which is your up and down axis. So that arrow right there points to the y-intercept. Remember, when it is a word problem, it is the beginning point, or where x is 0. Where is it starting? Your slope is your rise over your run. How much does your y's change? How much do your x's change? And you'll make that look like a fraction. And we'll talk more about that and what it looks like in a graph tomorrow. I think you have one more at the bottom that you can't see. And y equals mx plus b is the slope-intercept form. So thanks for listening.